Well, Sister Vicky, it's your brother from the charming little town of Mestia, Georgia. I'm just taking a walk around town to kind of loosen up. Day before yesterday, I went for a walk and it was a real bugger. All downhill, but it was tough. Look at all the apples on that tree. I saw a pig up there in the road a while ago. First one I've seen around this town. Man, there are just tons of apples on there. Here's one of the many cows that wander. It's just the funniest damn thing, Vicky. These dairy cows, look out, Mama. Cows are everywhere in town, out of town, on the mountains. I've seen them up to 8,000 feet. Get out of the road here. Mestia Walk. That's a guest house. One of the hardest hikes I've done though was up this mountain right here. I can't zoom it in this mode, but up there on that peak where there's kind of a bare area right in the middle of the mountain, just to the right of the highest part, as you can see, is a cross called the Mestia Cross. And the hike starts from down here in town and it goes up that side of the mountain. It's 2.5 kilometers, which is just about 1.9 miles in terms of walking distance. But the climb is 2,500 feet. And the trail is not very good. And I thought I was going to die going up there. And it was hot. That's a south-facing slope. Oh, God. I got up there and I thought, there is no effing way that I'm going to be walking down that trail. But hitchhiking around here is pretty common. I got a ride with some people and that had paid one of the many drivers around here, these informal cabs that they have. I don't think they have licenses, or if they do, I've never seen one. But, oh boy. But the hike the other day was, well, it ended up being 8 kilometers, which is what, about 5 miles. And I didn't get lost, but I made a wrong turn and ended up coming down like on the west side of a mountain instead of the east side. But it was a real bushwhack, you know. I mean, there was a trail at one time, but it was pretty well overgrown and washed out. Because everything around here, as you can see, is just steeper than hell. You know, there are no gentle mountains, it seems like. So when I finally got down to the bottom, the first farmer that I saw, I paid him 50 lari, which is like 25 bucks. Well, it's a little less than $25 to bring me back here to Mestia. And you know, it's like a 30-minute ride, so it was a fair price. But this place is really beautiful. I'm not disappointed at all in the beauty. It's just that everything is more difficult in terms of hiking that I can do. I got a trip planned for Wednesday coming up, which will be the 10th of September. I pushed it back one day because it looked like the weather was going to be bad. To go out to see a glacier and get pictures. I may have to walk from the highway into the little village where I'm staying, which is, the village is about halfway between the major highway and the glacier. Walk into the village is like, I don't know, 5 miles. You know, I won't have a lot of weight to carry, just taking enough clothing to, you know, for 2 nights. And I'd really like to go out there and see that glacier, or how close I can get to it anyway. I can't get to the observation point that I want to because there's a river you got to cross. And it's not that it's expensive, but then after you get across, it's a 300-foot climb to get to the observation point. And I'm not sure that I want to do that. Here's the river through town. I can't remember the name of it offhand. I think it's on this side. Yeah, the Mestia River, Mestia. Mestia is a common name or something, I don't know. But that's the other thing I was surprised about was the rivers here aren't clear. You can see how cloudy it is. I guess that's from, most of them are not all that far from their source, which is glacier melt. And there's a glacier that's up around the corner of that ridge there, Chahala Glacier. And I guess that's just glacial till, you know, the fine particles of silt, clay, whatever, that the glacier washes down. I can imagine what this looks like in the spring flood. But you see, this is a kind of a nice view of the east end of the city. This valley runs east and west. You see all the swan towers? Those were built between the 9th and basically between the 9th and the 12th century. And they were places of refuge for the people when they would have an occasional invasion. The bottom of the towers has a wall usually around it. A lot of those are gone now, but the original ones had a wall around it, and the families would bring in their animals and everybody, and they'd have a siege. You know, if there was a siege, they could withstand it. Next week, or no, on the 15th, I'm going on another trip back up to Ushguli to stay for a week. I was up there for 3 nights a couple weeks ago, but the weather was really crap, so I didn't really get to do a lot. And so I'm going back up. The guest house is really nice. It's a German gal that married a Georgian guy, and his family owns the property in the guest house. And it's in a really nice location. It has a $1 million view looking up the hill at the second highest mountain in Europe, highest one in Georgia. It's right on the Russian border. I don't know what it is with the cops around here. They always, when they're just cruising around, they always have their lights on. So I'm going back up there. Yeah, they were really cool people. I think I sent you a video when I was talking to her when she was hanging up clothes. Clara. And with a C, Clara. I thought it would be a K since she was German, but not. Probably get an idea of how steep that hill is there with that cross on it. God, that was hard going up there. I'm just walking around town to loosen up a little bit. My quadriceps when you go downhill, just, for miles, literally especially on real rough ground, you're basically in a squat position, not deep squat, but your knees are flexed so you don't fall on your face. And when they're just continuously flexed with no relief, you got a little stiff. But this is the main drag through town. Walking east that way takes you out of town, and I walked out to the glacier, which is like 6 miles. But that glacier out there, you get a better view of it from, when I get down here, I can look to the left, I'll show you. A better view of the glacier from up on the top of this ridge to my left where the ski lift is. My tablet died. Well, semi-died. I can't connect it with my phone or the internet anymore. And that's where I do editing. And it makes a real pain in the ass to edit videos that I've taken. So I'll have to get a new one, I guess, when I get back home. But this ridge over there, that's where the ski lift takes you up to the top of that. And you have a good view of the glacier, Chihali Glacier, from up there. That's the ridge I went up on the other day. And then I walked down on the far side of it to a village called Chobani. But like I said, this is the main drag through town. Wood balconies are apparently a big deal. And these stone walls and stone houses, but they're just guest houses everywhere. That's basically the economy of the city, all these guest houses. Because this place goes all year. 2 ski slopes. One is directly across from me over there. You might be able to see it. And then there's another one that's off to the left from Tanuldi, which is another huge mountain. And this is one of the crazy things about some of these towns. Up here on the right, I don't know why they chose this location, is a bank, a Credo Bank over there. This is where it's kind of a transportation hub of sorts, where vehicles like this one right here, I just walked by, drivers in there sleeping, begin all their hikes. And I'll have to continue this video because it's reached the limit of YouTube almost. Can't have videos longer than 15 minutes. So I will be back with another one here continuing on.